They've come to your house to arrest you. Witch, heretic. Why? For being a woman with too much power and not enough husband. They rush in, your maids panic, but you just sit there and continue sipping your wine. Because the man leading them actually owes you a lot of money, and you have proof he stole from the church. One word from you, his life is over. He looks at you. You smile. His face turns white. But this problem is nothing compared to what is actually troubling, because far away at sea, your ships are sailing home carrying more gold than some country's own. But a rich enemy family sends you a letter. They say, "Marry our son by Sunday or we sink your ships." So you have 3 days to destroy them. But to know how you became this powerful, we must go back to the beginning.
You're in 1561 in Venice. Your family sells silk, but not rich people silk, cheap silk for people who want to look rich. So one bad year of business is enough to make your family dirt poor. Your mother dies when you're 6, childbirth, child number 4 in 5 years. But you are the only one who makes it, so your dad is not happy. Why? It's the 16th century. You are a girl. Girls cannot run businesses. Girls cannot sail ships or make deals. To him, you are just a problem that needs to be married away before you become too expensive to feed. So you stay quiet. You watch. At 8, you sit in the corner during business meetings. You pretend to sew, but you're really listening. So you learn that some merchants lie. You learn that purple dye is very valuable in Spain. You learn that some traders like honesty and others hate it. Your father thinks you're slow because you don't speak. Good, let him think that. By 12, you keep the business books. The real bookkeeper drinks too much wine and makes mistakes, but your father does not say thank you. He only gives you more work. You begin to see the truth. Your father makes very bad choices. He buys too high. He sells too low. He trusts the wrong people. You start giving him small advice. Very small. Maybe wait before selling. Maybe don't lend him money again. Sometimes he listens. Sometimes he does not. When he listens, the business survives. But when you are 14, everything changes. Your father tells you that you will be getting married. His name is Francesco Vendramin. He is twice as old as you, but he is rich, so his money will save your family. You meet him one time before the wedding. He isn't mean. People say that makes him a very good husband. So the wedding happens fast. Your father gets a bag of gold. Francesco gets a young wife who can give him sons. But you get something no one notices. Paper trails, books, records, deals, connections. Francesco trades across the sea. His ships go to 3 continents, but his business is a mess. No one knows who owes what. No one checks the books. Francesco is at least good at talking, but he is bad at planning. So you reorganize the operation. You read every page. You remember every route. You learn every name. He thinks you are just helping, being a good wife, staying busy. You start with small ideas. What if we buy spices straight from Portugal? What if we store goods where it's cheaper in winter? What if we hire the banker no one trusts? Francesco says yes, not because he's smart, because you make life easy. The money grows fast. In 2 years, it triples. People praise Francesco. They invite him to big dinners. They ask for his advice. He is loving this, but he has no idea his wife actually brings in the profits. You're 19, but you're playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. Then Francesco drops dead at 43. His heart stopped. It's quick, it's natural, it's perfect. But even so, he wasn't half bad. So just like that, you're a widow with a fortune and no male relatives who can legally take it from you. No sons, no brothers. But here's the next problem. In Venice, women were very restricted when running businesses. So you do something smart. You hire Riccardo. Ricardo is your late husband's cousin. He's nervous and bad at everything. That makes him perfect. You make him a deal. His name goes on the company. He goes to meetings, he signs papers, shakes hands, but you're telling him exactly what to do and say. In return, you pay him very well. He agrees right away. Easy money for looking important? Yes, please. This is how you grow to become the richest woman in Europe that no one knows about. Every deal uses Ricardo's name. Every shipment, every trade, every plan. The men run it for you while you stay hidden. Your cousin, your husband's brother, even an actor you hired because he looks honest and writes neatly. While they take credit, you work in secret. Why? I guess you could say you like the challenge. You study markets, guessing what people will need next. You buy goods cheap in one city and sell them high in another. You build a web of informants in every port. servants who listen in on their masters, dock workers who watch ships, merchants who owe you favors and repay you with news. Within 5 years, you know more about Mediterranean trade than anyone alive. You know when ships will arrive before kings do. You know about food shortages before cities panic. You know who is broke before their family knows. That's when you learn the truth. Information is power. You start collecting secrets like how nobles collect art, the judge who wastes money on lovers, the merchant who lied to avoid taxes, the church leader who steals church money. You know them all. You never threaten anyone. That would be messy. Instead, you offer loans. Generous loans. Easy loans. Loans that save powerful men. Soon, kings owe you money. Church leaders owe you favors. Doors open when you knock. 15 years pass. You are 34. You control trade across Europe and the Americas. You could ruin governments if you wanted, but to everyone else, you are still just that quiet, childless widow with a few ships, until one rival family learns the truth, and now the game begins.
The Barozzi family has been trying to break into the spice trade for decades. They're old money, noble blood, but they are massively insecure about the fact that new merchant families keep getting richer than them. So they start watching Ricardo, trying to figure out how this sweaty man who can barely string a sentence together somehow runs the most profitable trading company in Venice. And then someone talks. Maybe a servant who didn't pay enough. Maybe a business partner with a grudge. Maybe just bad luck. Instead of sending a normal threat, they send their eldest son. At midnight, Alessandro Barozzi knocks on your door with 6 armed men. The man is feared across Venice for his cruelty. He enjoys watching servants hurt each other for fun. He walks into your home like he owns it. He sits down and makes his offer. You will marry him in 3 days. The Barozzi family will take your business. You keep your money, but lose your power. But if you say no, he sinks your biggest fleet, 14 ships full of rare spices, worth more than a small kingdom. But the ships carry something else. Children. 1,000 orphan girls hidden below deck. For 5 years, you've been saving them in secret. You gave the girls safe homes in Venice and new lives. Maybe because you once wanted children with Francesco. You've never told anyone, but somehow Alessandro knows. He knows the ships will sink. So he knows you care. That is why he uses it against you. You have 3 days, but Alessandro makes one mistake. He thinks you became powerful by being kind. You weren't, and you never have been. As soon as Alessandro leaves your house, you act. You send secret messages to your ship leaders. Change the route. Take 4 extra days. But this is a very expensive way to solve the problem, so now you have to teach the Barazzis a lesson. But remember the Inquisition we started with? It seems they've caught wind that you've been doing business with Muslims. So you start calling in more old favors. The judge from the Inquisition, who owes you a lot of money, you remind him that his work at your house better end soon. No threats, just a warning. By noon, they're gone. Now you start dealing with the Barazzis. You check their money records, their loans, their debts, their businesses, and then you see the truth. They are broke. Completely broke. Their big house and fancy life are built on borrowed money. Money they owe to many banks in Venice. But guess who owns most of the banks? Indirectly, of course. You start to ask yourself whether they actually did their research on you. So for 2 days, you move fast. You demand all their money back at once through pressure from the banks. You tell merchants not to trust them. You buy their properties for very little money. You offer better deals to their partners. By the end of day 3, they're losing everything. Their ships have been taken by the banks. Their warehouse has been sold off. Even their great house is set to be sold. Alessandro comes back to your door. This time, he's alone. No guards, no smile, only anger and fear. You offer him wine. You sit where he once threatened you. Then you tell the rules. The Barazzis will leave the spice trade. Alessandro will say sorry in public. In return, you will forgive some of their debt. They can keep their house. They can continue living in it, but cheaply, like commoners. They must learn that the widow Vendramin is not someone to mess with. But the story is not finished. While you were dealing with the Barazzis, another problem arrived. He is too high profile to meet you in your palace. Instead, you meet in a small house you own under a fake name in a quiet part of Venice where no one asks questions. But now he kneels before you, King Ferdinand of Aragon.
In 3 days, his cousin will take his throne, unless he can raise an army. He kneels on the cold floor, begging for one last loan. Kings have asked you for money before, but none have ever knelt. You have been paying for his wars. Now he owes you 200,000 ducats. If he loses his crown, he can't pay you back. His cousin has more soldiers, more friends, more power. But with one final payout, he can hire mercenaries and win. So he needs 100,000 ducats by tomorrow. What he does not know is this: his cousin is also your client. And his cousin has made you an offer. If you refuse Ferdinand, the cousin will win and pay all of Ferdinand's debt, plus extra. But there is a problem. The Barazzis also support the cousin, and if he wins, they grow strong again. Remember, they are still nobles, so now you must choose. You look at Ferdinand, still kneeling, still afraid. You decide. You give him the loan. Why? Because an indebted king is a better pawn than a grateful king. Not 100,000 ducats, 150,000. But the deal has changed. He does not just owe you money now. He owes you a favor, a big one, the kind only kings can give. He agrees at once. 3 weeks later, he wins the war. You're 49 now, richer than most countries, worth around 6 million ducats. You know the secrets of many powerful men in Europe. You've survived the Inquisition, you've survived rival families, you've survived men who tried to force you into marriage. Everyone else just thinks you're just a quiet widow who owns a few ships. You don't really care, though, because you've never wanted praise. You remember who you were: a girl no one listened to, a daughter seen as a problem, a woman meant to stay a trophy wife. You sit alone in your study, sipping wine, already planning what comes next, because power never sleeps. The game never ends.